Hi, Wizard Jeans here. As a huge tribute and thank you to all of our healthcare workers, we're going to share this awesome video made by one of our contributors, Mollie Friedlander, who is a fantastic MD PhD student at Stanford University.
Hello, my name is Mollie Friedlander. My pronouns are she, hers, and my Harry Potter house is Gryffindor. I'm a second year developmental biology PhD student, but within a longer MD PhD student training path. So I'm completing both medical school as well as a biosciences PhD with the ultimate goal of both clinically treating patients as well as doing basic science that can be translated bench to bedside.
And with that, we're going to talk about how certain doctors choose their careers.
Choosing a medical residency specialty is complicated. So after you complete medical school, you actually specialize. And really the factors that determine which of these specialties a medical student will lean towards and ultimately get training in are both intrinsic and extrinsic. The intrinsic factors include personality traits and personal interest, and the extrinsic factors are economic status, work-life balance, as well as input from mentors and peers. In the fictional world of Harry Potter, the choice is simplified. The choice is made by the sorting hat. The students, when they arrive at Hogwarts, place the sorting hat on their heads, and it will look into their deepest, innermost thoughts and desires and place them in a house. The four houses include Gryffindor, which prides courage, fortitude, and chivalry; Hufflepuff, which is associated with fidelity, diligence, integrity; Ravenclaw, which really prizes wit, intelligence, and reason; and Slytherin, which favors ambition, resourcefulness, leadership, and guile. Now, as I said before, medical students don't have a sorting hat. So the authors thought, well, perhaps if we could predict which types of personalities are drawn to and therefore would do better in a particular specialty, and if that could influence a medical student's choice of residency, maybe this would reduce burnout or depression. The methods they used to investigate this hypothesis were essentially just a self-administered web questionnaire. The questions included: 1, do you have knowledge of the world of Harry Potter and the differences between the Hogwarts houses? Question 2 was, what is your gender? 3, what residency or specialty are you in? 4, are you in a surgical or non-surgical residency? 5, what year of residency are you in? And 6, what Hogwarts house would you self-sort yourself into? Number 1, all they had to say was that they're familiar with Harry Potter. And the only analysis they performed were chi-square tests. And here are the results themselves. Across the top you have your Hogwarts houses: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, as well as Muggle was another option to sort yourself into. In terms of looking at the different residencies, they had surgical and non-surgical, those major buckets at the top, and underneath they have the data for each specific specialty. And the p-values that are bolded show statistical significance for those chi-square tests. You can see that general surgeons, compared to everyone else, that's what the 41% represents, general surgery residents are more Gryffindor and less Hufflepuff. They found that orthopedic surgery residents were statistically significantly more likely to identify as Slytherin than any other specialty. Pediatrics is less likely to self-identify as Gryffindor, more likely to identify as Hufflepuff. OBGYN were less likely to identify themselves as Gryffindor. Finally, when you look at the buckets, the overall of surgical versus non-surgical, it looks like surgical residents are more likely to self-identify as Slytherin. This was figure 1, and kind of, a summary of their data. They drew out a representation of the qualities that are prized in each house and associated with a particular residency specialty. There are stereotypes that exist today about residents that are attracted to certain specialties. And this paper is saying that their data reinforce these stereotypes. Now, there was a section at the end of the paper that addressed the limitations. There was a low response rate, so there may be bias in who decided to answer the survey itself. They looked at buckets, but they didn't control for or interrogate facets of their data, such as the demographics of those that responded. And then they also brought up in their discussion the fact that there's no information on the depth of Harry Potter knowledge. So they have no idea how well the respondents actually knew the houses. Their conclusion statement is that the discrepancies between specialties and the ratios of residents per Hogwarts house highlights that certain attributes may be more essential, advantageous, or complementary to a specific specialty. This information may guide medical students in choosing a satisfying and successful career path. So as you can see, studies like this may be incredibly important to the mental health and future specialty medical students everywhere.